Hello everybody, it's Miss Jan. I've probably worked with most of you before, so I'm excited that I can still work with you in these different times. So I'm happy that they've asked me to do this with you guys. So today we're going to be doing a drawing. It's a landscape, and we're using the 1-point perspective method, and I'm not sure if any of you have done this before or know what it is or learned what it is, but hopefully you'll learn something new today, at least most of you. So what you'll need is your paper. You should have been given some paper and some colored pencils. You might need a pencil sharpener, and you will definitely need a pencil that has an eraser, because you're going to be drawing lots of lines and you're going to be erasing those lines later down the road. So let's get started. I'm using a lead pencil to start with, but you don't have to. There's normal pencil too, just an eraser, just as long as you have an eraser, or just, a hand eraser, any kind of eraser, it doesn't matter. Okay, so it's still, I've done a few videos, but it's still a little hard sometimes to draw backwards, kind of, like this, but I'm going to do my best, especially with lines. It's kind of hard to draw lines backwards, but that's okay. We will work with it. So, first thing we're going to do is do a point right in the middle of your page. So it's going to be a little bit higher, but it's going to be about the same distance on the left and the right of the dot. So that is our point of perspective. Okay, so let's draw a line. Not press hard, just lightly. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. And that's going to be our horizon. So right here is going to be the sun, like a sunset. Okay, the sun could be coming up or going down, either one. But, so that just marks the middle of our page. Alright, so now we're going to draw a line to down here, to the bottom corner. Not all the way to the corner, but about right here. So it's probably good to use a ruler if you have one, but if you don't, that's okay, because I don't have one with me at the moment, so I'm just drawing a line. Another thing you can do is just get another sheet of paper. So you get another sheet of paper and do this, right? So you put it at the point, then you put it at the point you want it to end up, and then you'll just use the edge of that so that you know it's kind of a guideline, right? Just like you would use a ruler. Okay, so there's that one. So we know and understand, or we should by now, that things that are closest to us, so if we're here and we're looking out, we're standing here, we're looking out at the sun, whatever is closest to us is going to be big, and then it's going to get smaller the farther away it gets from us. Okay, so it's hard when you want to draw something like that and remember those rules. So this is just a tool to help you when you want to draw something like that. So this is going to be a street right here, just so you know. There's going to be a sidewalk over here, and this line is going to start here at the point. Our lines always start there, and it's going to get wider as it goes down like that. And that is kind of, when you step up onto a sidewalk, that's that little drop off right there. Okay, so same thing on this side. It's more narrow, and then it gets wider. Okay, now let's draw the sidewalk, and that's going to go to the corner. We actually might want to do that a little bit bigger. Okay, so mistakes are okay. So there, let's make the sidewalk bigger. There we go. That's more like a sidewalk than it was before. Same thing on the other side. There we go. So we have our street and our sidewalks and our sun. Now, a street, honestly, you could do right here whatever you want to. There could be cars. This could be a river even. This could be like you see in other countries where there's, is it called a ravine? The water that flows through right here. Put a boat there. I want you to use your creativity, your imagination to come up with whatever you can think of. But I'm going to do a road. Okay? So roads have those little jagged lines in the middle to keep cars separated, so you know which direction you're supposed to go. Okay, so we're going to do some of those. Just keep in mind that what is closer to you is bigger and it gets smaller as it goes farther away. So these lines, and they actually get closer together. So these get smaller and smaller and smaller until they get to the top. Okay, so you see how that creates distance. You have this flat piece of paper and we've created distance. That could be like a whole mile right there. Who knows? Okay. Now, let's do some buildings on this side. Now, this is what's tricky when you don't have this tool. But this makes it so much easier. So you're starting from this point again. Always start from here. And we're going to make a line that goes all the way up like that. Okay, I don't want to push too hard so I can't erase that line, because when you push really hard, then it's really hard to erase the lead. So let's start back here in the back, because these buildings are going to overlap, so you want to start the one farthest away in this case. Okay, so this line shows you where the top of the building is. Okay, and then that's the front of the building. The side of the building is always going to be completely flat, parallel with the horizon line. Okay, so then comes down. So there we have our first little building in there. You can erase the sun if you want to right now, or you can worry about that later. Okay, it's up to you. Okay, so the next building is going to go up to meet the line. Okay, it's going to be a little bit bigger than the first one because it's a little bit closer. And that line comes straight down. And that's the front of the building. The side of the building is parallel with the horizontal line. And then comes straight down to the sidewalk. Okay, so keep doing that until you get all the way up here where we're standing. Okay, so the third building is going to be a little bit bigger. Straight down. Okay, and then the side of the building comes over. Okay. And then the building closest to us, this is going to be the last building. Okay, so there we go. And now you can erase this line here and this one. And then you can erase, well, the horizon line you can leave there for now because I'll show you how to draw the windows. It's hard to figure out, even looking with the naked eye, if you're looking at a building, it's hard to understand which way the windows are tilted. Or they're not really tilted, but, you know, just the perspective from where you're standing. So draw very lightly, just another line. That way you can draw one, draw however many you want. It just depends on how many windows you want. Okay, you're just starting at the point and then just going in all directions. So that is just the tool that shows you where your lines will go. So if you want to put a window right here, all you have to do is draw the straight lines up and down, and then these cheat lines show you where the tops and the bottoms go, or what angle they're at. See, like that. Here's another one. So you'll see that it shifts from going up above the horizon line to going down below the horizon line, which is kind of just really tricky if you have to like think about it and figure it out with your mind. So this tool is very, very, very helpful. So now let's do a door. Okay. My somewhat straight lines. Alright, so you can erase the lines on the sides of the building here because you don't really need those unless you're going to be doing brick on the side of the building. Well, actually you won't need those guidelines for that anyways because these lines are straight. So if you're doing brick on the side of the building, you're just going to go horizontal. So just straight like that all the way. And then brick, of course, the lines are going to stagger. So they're in between, the lines go in between the lines above it. Okay, so you do that. And this is optional. You do not have to do this if you don't want to, like, do super detailed. Some people like to do detailed drawings, and some people like to keep it simple. So, there we go. I think the brick technique is kind of cool. So just do the same thing with the windows. Add a few windows if you want to these buildings using those lines. Okay. Okay, and now you can just erase the lines now that you won't use. So if you are an artist and you love to draw and sketch and you want to get fancy with this and you want to make it however creative you are, then think of whatever you want to add to this, right? So if you want to have like people hanging out of the windows, or you want to have people on the street, you might want to make the street a little bit bigger, or the sidewalk a little bit bigger if you want to have people and things on there. But make it however you want, whatever you can come up with in your mind with using your imagination. Okay, on the other side, instead of doing buildings, let's do some trees. So this one's going to be a little bit easier. So let's do a line over here. So the first tree we're going to do is the one that's closest to us. Okay, so this will indicate what the top of the tree is. And I just did kind of these wavy, curvy, wild lines. And let's do the bottom part of the tree, the base, just like that. Or if you want, you can make it so that you can see like some of the branches in there, like that. It's up to you. Okay, so the next tree is going to go up. Just remember that the next tree is going to be just a little bit smaller than the one before it. So, like that. Okay, and now the next one is going to be a little bit smaller. Okay, so you can see how it looks like the trees are getting farther and farther away. Now think about what you want to incorporate into your drawing. So if you want this to be a park, there could be benches. Get however detailed with it as you want. There could be an owl in the tree, or there could be squirrel, or whatever. Just create whatever you want to. Whatever you can think of. Okay. Now, there's all my trees. And now, I'm going to erase the line. All the lines here. The horizon line. There. Alright. Now, at this point, you can just add whatever you want to. You can put an airplane in the sky, or you can do clouds. Clouds are another thing that, so closer to you, they'll be bigger. And then, let's see, back here towards the sun, we can do a little one. So we know that one is farther away. Okay. Completely up to you. So, next thing we're going to do is color these. And I'm going to turn my camera off while I do that, because that would be very boring if you guys are watching just color all this in there. So remember, if you're going to color all these trees green, if this is summertime, it could be, there could be snow on the ground, or it could be fall, and these could be all different colors, fall colors. But I'm going to do green, just to show you that you can do, we won't want to do the same color green, or the same shade of green on every one of them. So I'm going to alternate light and dark on all of these all the way back, so your eye and your mind can understand the difference, that there's, different trees, and they're not just all blended in together. And be creative. Like I always say, just be creative. Don't think of any rules. We have tools that we can use, but don't think of rules. Like, trees are green, and sky's blue, and buildings are brown, or red, or gray. Color them whatever color you want to. Okay, put polka dots on them, or put stripes on them, or whatever you can come up with, whatever you can create. Okay, so I'll be back in literally like 1 second. Alright, here is my finished product. So I used all different kinds of shades of green. I used just about every green I had in my pack of colored pencils, but I still alternated dark and light. And then the trunks, I did all different colors. There's one you'll see is red, one is like a peach color, just to show you guys that you don't have to do like everything the same. Everything doesn't have to be just brown. You can do whatever color you want. And then the buildings, I did striped, I did bright colors, I did polka dots. And I did I thought, well, I'm going to do this teal color. I wouldn't normally put that color with teal, but in this case I did, and I like it. I think it looks good together. The colors complement each other well. And I did like a sunset, a little bit of color in the sky too. I started with a light yellow, and then I went with a brighter yellow, like a sunset that I've seen before. And then the last thing you do, I took a black color pencil and outlined everything, and then I did like the details. So you'll see I outlined the windows, and then I just outlined them again. And then after I colored the side of the building here, then I went over the bricks. Now another thing that you'll notice is the value. Okay, so let's look at like this, where we just were. So I colored that all with the purple a dark shade of purple, but I just lightly put pressure on my pencil to color that in. But I went over along this edge using the same color, the same pencil, and I pressed a little harder. And I used more pressure to make the shade a little bit darker. So it gradually goes from light to dark, and it just makes more sense to the eye. Okay, then I did the same thing with the orange. I did a little light right here and then went darker as I got towards the edges. Same thing with the trees. You'll see it's the same color, but I pressed harder here to make it darker because the light's coming from here, so the light's going to be on this side and the shade's going to be on that side. And then I used the black pencil to make like little lines in the trees. Just a fun little thing. And then I pressed harder also here on the bottom parts of the trees, just so it's like, that's where the shadow is, right? Okay, so that's just a little easy, super easy, simple thing that you can do to do shading. So I cannot wait to see what you guys came up with and how creative you were with this project. So if you could please have someone take a photo, or you take a photo of your work and send it to your teacher, maybe, so they can send it to me so that I can see what you guys did, what you created from this lesson today. So, and if you have any questions, please let your teacher know, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. And I'm hoping to get to work with you guys again, particularly in person, very soon. So I hope you enjoy this and have a good day. Bye.